For recursion mystery 10, we are given this method, and we are passed the parameter. We're passed 3 different parameters, but we're going to look at this first parameter, which is 1. And we are going to see that if is our first if case. Since it's the first if statement, all it's going to print out is end. But I missed that this is actually going to print out before anything even happens. So it's going to print out our x, which is our parameter. So it's going to be 1, and then a space, and then end. And that's going to be our answer. For this next part, we're given 4 as our parameter. So we're going to print out 4 with a space. And we need to go into our else if statement, because we have 4 modulus 2 is equal to 0. From here, we have a recursion. We have 4. And we need to pass that into our method because of recursion, and we're passing in the value of 2. And after this, we need to go back into our else if statement again. But before we do that, remember there is this sysout that needs to happen before everything. So there's going to be a 2 and then a space, and then we are going to have our recursion, that's 2, pass it up here. It's going to give us a 1, so we're going to print out our x with the space, and then we just print out end with a space. After we do this, we have to notice that there's still this line of code underneath, so we need to come back and look at that code from here, and we're just going to get a plus and then a space, and then we have to do the same thing for this one, and we're just going to get a plus and then a space. Getting rid of our spaces gives us our final answer. For this last part, we're given the parameter 3. This is going to put us in our else statement. So we're going to have a bracket. I keep forgetting this part right here. This sysout, it needs to print the x and then a space. So our x is 3, so it's going to print out a 3 and then a space and then the bracket. After that, we have a recursion right here, and we need to pass in our 3. After we pass in our 3, we have to push it back into our method, and we need to do 3 times our value, which is 3 plus 1, which is going to give us 10. After we do this, we are going to go into our else if statement, because 10 modulus of 2 is 0. Before we do that, again, we have to output our x and then a space. So we are going to output 10. There should be a space right here too, and a space like this. And once we have 10 here, we need to divide it by 2 and pass it in. That's going to give us the value of 5. That means we are going to be in our else statement. So we have to print out 5 in a space because of the x and space up at the top right here. So after our 5, we need to put a bracket like this, and we have a recursion. So in our recursion, we have the value 5. We have to multiply it by 3 and add 1. It's going to give us 16. We're going to pass it back into the method as 16. So this should be 16, and we are using the value of 5. Now we need to print out our 16, and since it is an even number, we're going to be in our else if statement right here. We are going to see that we have another recursion. So we have to use this 16 and then put it back into the method, dividing it by 2, which will give us 8. We need to output what we have, which is 8. After we output this, we are going into our else if statement once again with our value 8, and dividing it by 2 is going to give us 4. Once we have the value 4, we have to output that value with a space, and then we are going to be in our else if statement once again and have a 4, which is going to turn into a 2, and now we need to output our 2 with a space, and then last time we will be in our else if statement with the value 2, sending it to our method, which will be 1. Now we finally hit our base case, our if statement right here. From here, we just output 1. We have to output our x, so we output 1 space, and then we have to output the value end, or the string end, with a space. After we do that, we need to go back, since we have code right here and right here that we have not even looked at yet. We need to go back through here, and we see that we have a plus, and then we're going to do the same thing here. So after we check this one, we are going to go to here, and from here we go down here. We are going to add a plus. After we do that, we're going to do the same thing, go from here to here, and then there to add a plus, and then from this 8 to this 8, because we're just going through the same values. We're going from 4 to 4, 8 to 8, and then 8 to 16, which is going to give us another plus and a space. We need to go into this 16 value and look down here. After we look down here, we are going to see that we need a bracket. And then we are going to look at this 5 value. So this 16 goes to 16, this 5 is going to go to 5. This 5 is going to go right here. So that means we need a, oh, there's also a space right here. We have a plus, and then a space, and then this 10 to 3, we have a bracket, and then a space. That is our answer.